정말 우리 같이 이길 수 있어요?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're analyzing the moral alignment of the central Squid Game characters from seasons 1 and 2. Major spoilers ahead.
동그라미, let's go!
Lawful good, Abdul Ali and Jung Gum-ja.
사장님들 다시 만나서 반갑습니다.
These two characters, though their paths are never destined to meet, are some of the purest that this twisted series has to offer.
그날 자비 줘서 정말 감사합니다.
We'll start with season 1's Ali. His selfless nature was apparent from episode 1 when he saves Gi-hun's life during red light, green light. He stays true to himself and his values through to the very end, putting his life in Sang-woo's hands, believing his ally to be trustworthy and kind. But sadly, this was not the case. Pour one out for our sweet king. And by one, we mean one bag of marbles.
형 어디 있어? 형, 상우 형, 나 보고 왔어요.
As for Gum-ja, this season 2 standout is only risking her life in the games to help her debt-ridden son Young-sik.
엄마, 엄마가 여기 어떻게?
She repeatedly votes to exit the competition as soon as she realizes that everyone's lives are at stake, and offers to cook dinner for her new friends once they're free. She is forgiving, she's helpful, and we'll say it, she's mother.
아니야, 괜찮아. 다 살았으면 됐어.
Neutral good, Song Gi-hun. Can we confidently say that our protagonist here is morally spotless? Of course not. Gi-hun makes a slew of questionable choices over the series' 2 seasons.
딱 한 번만 해봐요. 이거 정말 재밌어요.
However, we'll go out on a limb and say that the sum of his actions are, well, good, neutrally.
우리가 같은 편이면 최소한 이름은 알아야 믿음이라는 게 생기지 않을까?
He always follows through with his word, exhibited through his care of Sang-woo's mother and Sae-byeok's brother. Most significantly, by refusing to run off with his 45.6 billion won earnings and deciding to attempt to put an end to the games altogether, Gi-hun shows that he is willing to put his life on the line for the greater good.
지금부터 제가 하는 말 잘 들으세요. 이거 그냥 게임이 아닙니다.
Did he kind of abandon his daughter in the process and inadvertently let his mother and best friend die? Well, yeah, but he's trying.
움직이지 말고 그대로 있어요. 긴장하지 말아요.
Chaotic good, Jun-ho and Cho Hyun-ju. Let's talk about Hyun-ju. She breaks out in the second season by assisting Gi-hun in attempting to save a non-fatally hit contestant, despite the risk of being eliminated herself. But while kind at heart, she is unpredictable. She flip-flops on her vote to continue the games, and shows some tough love to her teammates during the pentathlon.
난 아까 영미 씨가 나한테 처음 말 걸었을 때 바로 느꼈어요. 영미 씨가 얼마나 용기 있는 사람인지.
Moving on to Jun-ho, who goes to wild lengths in the hopes of finding his missing brother In-ho, and later by teaming up with Gi-hun to stop the games.
내가 그놈들 찾는 걸 도와줄게.
He infiltrates the island, is shot by In-ho, and still spends the 3 years that follow searching for the truth. It's a good thing he hung up his traffic cop vest. He is destined for so much more.
야, 내가 뭘 어떻게 더 도와줄까? 너랑 그 섬이라도 찾으러 다녔나?
Lawful neutral, Kang No-eul. We're introduced to No-eul as a complicated but kind figure, with a harrowing past as a North Korean defector who lost her child in the midst of her escape.
제발 부탁드릴게요. 부족하면 돈은 더 가져다 드릴게요.
Viewers may have anticipated seeing her as a participant in the games, but it's revealed that she'll be acting as a masked sniper, taking out the eliminated players. This immediately reveals her darker, detached nature as she carries out orders for the game's manager. However, she refuses to break the rules to help the rebellious soldiers in the organ trade, as it wasn't the job she was tasked with completing, which she felt was a merciful act of killing.
항상 감사하게 생각하고 있습니다.
그럼 시키는 대로 해.
하고 싶지 않습니다.
She stands on her principles, up until she's pretty badly threatened by the other soldiers, that is. We have a hunch she'll play a significant role in the 3rd season, given what we've learned about her so far.
그동안 감사했습니다.
True neutral, Kang Sae-byeok and Park Jun-bae. It's tough to say that any one of the game's participants are truly neutral, given that their circumstances call for some pretty dire decision-making, revealing much about their natures.
북에선 왜 내려온 거야?
여기가 나은 줄 알고.
그래서 여기가 나?
But with that said, it's safe to say that these two are some of the more even-keeled of the players from the series. Though a beloved character, Sae-byeok is hardly a hero. She's looking out for herself and her family and is willing to play by the game's deadly rules in order to do so. She begins to find friendship in Gi-hun, but she sacrifices herself for Sae-byeok, not the other way around.
여기서 나가면 뭘 할까? 너가 물어본 다음부터 계속 생각을 해봤거든?
As for Season 2's Jung-bae, we learn that he entered the games to pay off his gambling debts after having lost custody of his daughter, similarly to his friend Gi-hun.
옛날에 호프집에 너 돈 빌리러 왔을 때 내가 못 빌려준 거. 그때 내가 어떻게든 해줬으면 너희 어머니 그렇게 안 돌아가셨을 수도 있잖아.
While he does show valiance by participating in the riot against the leaders of the games, his loyalties wavered when tempted by the increased monetary prize that resulted from the deaths of his fellow contestants. Despite their imperfections, both Sae-byeok and Jung-bae deserved better.
제발 살려주세요. 제 딸이 많이 아픕니다.
Chaotic neutral, Han Min-yo and Sun Yo. Did Squid Game reuse their quote-unquote crazy lady trope a little too closely in Season 2? Perhaps, but we'll let it slide given that these two characters are both extremely entertaining to watch.
여기 대빵이 누구야? 멋진 오빠? 오빠가 대빵이야?
여기는 그런 거 없어요. 그냥 다 똑같아요.
더 좋네. 평등사회.
And naturally, they have their differences. Min-yo will side with anyone regardless of their moral character, having teamed up with both big bad Deok-su and Gi-hun's band of misfits.
오빠들 내가 특별히 같이 해줄게. 오빠들 오늘 럭키한 줄 알아. 아유.
And, lest we forget, she ends her own life in an act of revenge against the former. Season 2's Sun Yo is similarly vengeful, casting a spell against Gi-hun's team after she was pushed aside in the Mingle game.
니들은 내 저주를 받았어. 내가 천지식명께 간절히 빌었거든. 니들 모두 이 안에서 차례대로 하나씩 숨통을 끊어달라고.
We're afraid that given the events of the last episode, her curse is destined to come true.
니들도 절대로 살아서는 여길 못 나가.
Lawful evil, Oh Il-nam. We've reached the section we've all been waiting for, our bad guys. Il-nam is a fascinating villain, entering the games as a player, though secretly being their creator.
나랑 게임 한 번 더 하지.
He genuinely feels that these deadly games provide some value to the world, as entertainment to the wealthy and opportunity to the poor.
돈 얼마나 쉽게 벌길래 이런 짓을 하는 거야?
돈 자네도 벌어봐서 알잖아. 그게 쉽던가?
On his deathbed, he expresses his belief that humanity is ultimately unkind and uses the games as a sort of social experiment to watch his pessimistic outlook in practice. While it's debatable whether or not his actions are lawful, we're classifying him as such due to the philosophies behind his madness.
자네 돈이 하나도 없는 사람과 돈이 너무 많은 사람의 공통점이 뭔 줄 아나? 사는 게 재미가 없다는 거야.
He's not exactly evil for evil's sake, nor does he act out of a desire for personal gain. His evilness is an attempt to expose a larger truth about humankind, even if his methods are ultimately pretty brutal.
왜 살려줬냐고 물었지. 재밌었거든. 자네랑 같이 노는 게.
Neutral evil, Hwang In-ho and Cho Song-woo. Let's get Song-woo out of the way first.
그럼 그냥 가.
Not literally, sorry Player 17. The games brought out an inner wickedness in him, as he kills innocent people to get ahead and betrays those who trusted him. Did he redeem himself by ending his life and letting Gi-hun win the sole prize? We'll let you decide. But if you ask us, though a complicated man, Sung-woo was pretty sociopathic.
원래 우리 계획대로 다시 너랑 나랑 한 팀으로 승부할 수 있어. 우리 둘 다 같이 나갈 수 있어.
Anyway, onto our frontman In-ho. We dig into his character in Season 2 when he disguises himself as a player to deceive Gi-hun. Quick side note, but he should have known better than to trust another player one.
제가 선생님 말대로 X를 눌러서 여길 나갔으면 사람들이 정말로 좋아했을까요?
Jun-ho is truly cold-blooded, gaining loyalty with Gi-hun's squad in order to put an end to their master plan, with no concern for any single player's life. His calculated and sinister nature makes him arguably the baddest baddie of the whole series. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Chaotic Evil, Thanos and Deok-su. We have one word for both of these guys. Yuck. Alright, we suppose we have a few more words.
당신들 뭐야? 왜 남의 걸 가로채는 건데?
아, 이거 아저씨 거야? 아저씨 이름 뭔데? 여기 아저씨 이름 써 있나?
Rapper Thanos may have been under the influence for a majority of his time in the games, but that does not change the fact that he is, for lack of a better word, a sicko.
너 이게 그렇게 먹고 싶어? 이 타노스님이 먹여줄게.
He pushes players down during red light, green light, and manipulates others for his own benefit. Who does that remind you of? Oh right, Season 1's Deok-su. He's more of a brute than a sicko, but he's also a devious and heartless person who tosses people aside like garbage.
게임 바꾸게 해줘. 그래야 공평하잖아. 니들이 여긴 평등한 곳이라며. 어?
At least we get to see both of these villains get their comeuppance. And hey, we'll admit it, a little bit of chaos keeps things interesting.
아저씨, 밖에 나가서 함부로 나불대지 말고 집에 가서 아저씨 자식 새끼나 잘 키워.
Do you agree with our analyses of these complex characters? Let us know in the comments.
덕에 기억도 나지 않던.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.